And we're back. All right. Kandor looks at you as we come back from break. You didn't really feel a break happen, so you're not really sure what the hell he's talking about. He just kind of stared quietly for a moment at you.
You really are an interesting character, sir.
I believe I have what you're looking for, but, you're not looking to reproduce what's in it, right? You're not gonna go off and make a clone of this?
I believe it will work for once in one situation only. I will have to make it count.
Good. He will reach into the table, and he will pull out a strand of hair. It is a very long strand of hair that sparkles a little bit in the light of the room. This should give you exactly what you need. If you say native and outsider, and enemy of those chaotic, and those that are evil.
Very carefully take it. I will put it in a specific sort of folding of my spellbook.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of fold in on it, make sure it's very firm in there, and kind of close my book.
All right. You have hair of an Asimar.
Thank you. I hope that this ends up working out for the better, but
I hope far more than you do that it ends up working out for the better. For you, it's just your life. You'll get another one later after that happens. For me, there's so much more that could be at stake.
And I hope this bargain worked in your favor. Also, I had a few questions. Like, literally your notes are so contradicting on this, and maybe now that there's less people in the room, you can just answer me very deliberately. Can we walk through just one last time, just for sanity's sake, the different stages of these creatures?
I'm guessing.
Oh, I see.
Based on what I know about them. I'm making some logical conclusions based on the information I have. Unfortunately, though, whoever's running things right now isn't being particularly communicative. Once upon a time, I had a strong connection to it. But it's like something got messed up. Something some time ago. Before everything rippled back.
I see.
But listen, I know they're chaotic evil outsiders. I know that one of them is going to be undead, or is very likely to be of undead, like, delineation. And so from these things, I know the things that should be logical to it. I know what the Kashran was. I have seen him firsthand. I watched as he fled through the portal. And I assure you, the things that you're worried about are the things you need to think about. I would just assume not use the things I mentioned in general.
Yes. I believe that is the safer part. So, the main one you believe to have undead qualities, is that the same of all his followers?
I don't believe it will be the same of his followers. I think that as far as what has been happening amongst the followers of the Kashram, things have kind of stuttered since he's moved to the Abyss. I think that in the time there, things have been rather messy for him. There's been a lot of squabbling over control of different territories. But he has worked probably pretty closely with Steve Allure to make sure that at least one of his pet projects was completed.
And, okay.
And based on what you explained, it sounds fairly accurate to be exactly what I think it to be.
Yes. And I have discussed in some regards, I know yet you don't see the value in some of these party members I keep around, but we're trying to determine if we could perhaps interfere with the senses of these creatures.
I see the value in party members you keep around. Every party member has a purpose. I just don't understand why they chose the stats that they did.
Your last advice was to disregard the evil one, but I think...
if you disregarded him, he would be replaced within a few days. So that is usually how it works. Unless something about the rules have changed.
Well, I believe the rules may have been changed, but nonetheless. If we were to want to interfere with these senses, when you say that they can see everywhere, I don't understand what you mean. How can someone see without actually seeing?
If you have eyes everywhere, you can see everywhere. If your eye goes all the way around your head, you can see in the back, the front, and to the sides.
And so when you say see everywhere, you mean directionally, not into different dimensions or whatever the fuck that could be?
So here I'm theorizing. Here I must admit I've done a lot of thinking on this, and Abram and I have talked for extensive number of hours about it. Or really, I talked and he just wished I would shut up. But what I am certain of is that they can see in all directions. I don't know if they can see. I know that they probably can also see when they cannot see. I would think he would add that in, especially for a creature that is going to be covered in micro tentacles.
And what would you think it would rely on to do that?
Most likely some sort of auditory response mechanism. The tentacles would pick up some kind of bursts of the air, bursts of sound changes in the air.
So if we were to perhaps coordinate blinding these things with auditory trickery, we might be able to disable their senses.
Sounds like a heavy load, but perhaps.
Okay, that is very useful to know.
I did not think you were that powerful yet.
One in my group can do so.
Hold on. He looks at you for a moment, and did your... No, it couldn't have. Your blade hasn't changed.
He says, the arts of the Magus are very confusing to some.
No, they're quite simple. It's outlined in my fourth book.
Oh, I see. Well, I can sacrifice some of my energies to...
I understand how your class works. I've got it outlined. And he turns around and he pulls a book off the shelf, and he just kind of opens it to a page, and it has a picture of a guy with a spell in his hand and a sword in the other hand, and he's like, it's all outlined here. It's fine. I know how all of this works.
It doesn't look like me, but whatever.
Well, no, you've taken the Black Blade line.
Yes. So that shit. I had a question and I forgot it.
I have that effect on people.
Yes, you are very confusing. Well, I hope it wasn't an important one because I forgot it, and I'm not going to keep everyone waiting. Is there any new information you have for me to relate to? Oh, I remember my question. They can see in all directions. Does that mean flanking them is not effective?
Correct.
Okay. That is good to know. See, these are the things you should tell a group. If you've been watching us, you know how we fight. You know that.
I would think that you would rationally understand that if it has all-around sight, it can see in all directions, then you standing on both sides of it isn't going to make it less capable of defending against you standing on both sides.
You said it sees in all directions.
That is the same thing as all-around sight.
See in all directions means that it could see into other planes. Damn it!
You are quite obnoxious, and I'm not sure why he has not replaced you with a better player yet.
Well, if I die, apparently there will be no player to replace me. So...
No, there's always a player to replace someone after they go. That is how it has worked. Every time.
Not this time.
You know not what you speak of.
You don't know what you speak. I storm out.
Okay.
I literally storm out. I'm done with them. And I go back to Kazram unless I'm intercepted or something.
Nope, not at all.
That is the end of the things I wanted to do during the downtime.
Okay. Who else had some other downtime stuff for the remainder of this month that you're here?
I'm just spending lots of time thinking and reflecting.
Okay. Well, it will kind of work out that you get to pass by much of the month. Is that with your new bonus? Because that's a crazy.
Yeah, that's with my new
roll.
bonus. I just want to see if I like had insight and be like, oh, by the way, Ra, your god is dead. But no, still don't know anything.
Harsh.
I still don't know anything.
Ra, in that reflection time though, give me a new knowledge religion check with your new item.
Okay, I don't have that put in. Let me adjust this.
Okay.
I'll use my once per day plus 10 insight on the check.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what? That didn't save anything.
Nope.
Why didn't that
It's fine.
save?
Your roll was a 3. So what's your total bonus?
It should have been plus another 50. Oh my God.
It does it.
Well-
I don't think it stacks. Let me look at
Well,
the.
one says a competence bonus and the other says insight bonus.
Oh, it does stack. Holy
Yeah.
mother of God!
Yeah, so it's a 5 competence bonus at all times, and the once per day is a plus 10 to insight.
It's sad that you rolled a 3 because that's still
Right?
just a
Like,
29. So you spend quite a bit of time on this, thinking about this, focusing on the things that you know, the things that you've been feeling, and you said you're going to devote a lot of time to this.
Yeah.
So you will ultimately do this way, actually. You start contemplating how religion works in and of itself. How the idea of followers following someone and power things. You realize that in the position you're in, gods and goddesses have a purpose. They have a place, and they guide the direction of what is and what will be that they pertain to. But they do it at the guidance of those below them. You realize that the gods and goddesses, the pantheon doesn't exist because they themselves have power. The pantheon exists because it needs to exist in order for that power to exist. Otherwise, that power doesn't exist. But the belief that that pantheon still exists is enough to power it. It just means that it is open to being twisted more. With that knowledge, you'll realize that your spells are safe. But also with that knowledge, you'll realize that there is a hole in your religion that must be filled. And that there will likely be many seeking to fill that role. Your insight and thought about this brings to mind a story from long ago that you do kind of remember slipping past in a book one day. A story of another god that lost his followers. In this story, many fought to take his place. Many wanted to be the god that sat on the throne. And there were many that made claims to being the new one. As soon as the faith started to dwindle, people started to pop up and claim that they were the God reborn. That they would ascend soon, but for now they had a purpose within the world. And once they had done so, they could make life better for everyone. Not long after that, the Great God War broke out. Millions and millions of followers, hundreds of thousands of followers of various different gods and goddesses died. They were lay waste by the dark gods, and a few of those who followed the dark gods found themselves dead as well. In the end, replacements did arrive for those that were lost, or for those that had been defeated too significantly. Change happened, as it is prone to do, and the world ticked on. That is why the symbol that you carry is different. Your symbol is a relic of time long ago. Your symbol is a relic of what Shashat once was. Not a symbol of what Shashat is today. And on your reflection, you realize that, well, everything has been a lie. To some degree, everything has also been the truth in another. Because it's not really a lie of intent, but a lie of misinformation. You have followed Shashat's principles. You have followed Shashat, but you have not followed the Shashat that you knew. You have not followed the Shashat that you knew. So realistically, what does it matter that she's gone now? As long as you continue to follow what you believe in.
Gotcha.
And that is with me allowing you the equivalent of taking 20.
Shot classic.
Do with that what you will, but there is no more information about this that I can give you. This is all on your character now.
Okay.
What you do with that information is wherever it will take you. So, for the rest of you, during the rest of the time, is there anything else you want to accomplish?
Got nothing. I would try the armor adjustments if I can. If they don't work, then they don't work.
Yeah, unfortunately, they will have no result. You notice that the more you separate the armor, the more the intrinsic properties seem to kind of break down, and it becomes rather unstable at that point.
Okay.
And I am going to share something with you, Spinks. We'll need, if I can, where did it go? There it is. There it is. Okay. I don't know why that button didn't want to appear. But you should now have another character sheet available to you. Welcome to the Glass Golem Owners Club. You and Tom are part of an exclusive club.
Wait, what?
Oh, man.
Are you using the item that Heracles gave you?
Yes.
Okay. So your golem will need a name. And your golem will need a personality. You don't have to come up with it now. But you should think on that for a little while. As it has a mind of its own.
That doesn't seem terrifying at all.
All right.
Just name it Sean, but with like SHAUN.
Put that. Damn it. Didn't do what I wanted it to. Make sure I get your stats on here right. It can also speak one language. What language would you like it to speak?
Golem.
Oh yeah, because that's helpful.
Oh no, actually that part...
Hack low. Hack low.
Yeah, that part is actually decided for you, so Arraklis would make that decision. So it will speak Draconic. And it will be true neutral. And it will have the skills Perception, and he would also give out Knowledge Arcana. Okay. So, the golem is made. All of you have your items. It is the 29th. What will the party do?
No one else has anything else. I'm ready to do this.
Meldronicus, I thought we were to visit the military camp before we set off.
We can do that along the way. It's not much of a detour. We should.
I'm not
should
quite.
let them know what we're doing.
Yes, I'm also not quite sure where I stand with all of you. I was under Arraklis's umbrella of his agreement with the military. I'm not really sure now that my apprenticeship is over where that leaves me with all of you, actually.
When you can go back to Mommy. She wants you.
Of course not. I'm in this to help you, of course, but I'm just saying I'm not sure.
Then stop questioning allegiances, because I gave you a very long talk about how everyone in this party needs to be committed. Are you committed or are you not?
I am. I'm just concerned
Say
that you're...
it with actual care. Because if you fuck anyone in this party, I will murder you myself and thereby murder myself. Do you fucking understand me?
Arvos gives him a calm and cool look and says, "Calm yourself, Meldronicus. You misinterpret my words. I merely want to make sure
you
you..."
a single person in this party, I will end your life my fucking self. Are you clear on that?
I am clear, but your temper has gotten the better of you these days. I merely am asking that
There is a lot on my plate.
I understand, but even you're the leader of this bunch and you're losing your cool when I am just asking some questions. Your superiors need to be made aware of this arrangement. Or are you above your superiors in the military now? Is this what you're saying? I am just making sure we're all above board in the military ongoings. I don't need to be yelled at like a child, Meldronicus.
Well, from what your mother has told me, you will behave like a child sometimes. Well, nonetheless, we can talk with the leadership, but they have greenlit us to do what is needed to deal with this issue.
Your anger worries me, Meldronicus. I hope you won't be impulsive on the battlefield. We need to be smart about this.
I have done a great deal of calculations regarding this, more than you could possibly understand, Erebos.
I hope so.
Do you have any further questions?
Nothing further.
And the party sets out. To make sure nothing happens on the way.
I hope something attacks the giant golem.
Yeah, we need some play. We need a golem play date.
Is our cart is the logistics all still good? Like the weight of the golem and all that? Like we're all still good with this, or?
I assume it has to walk.
Oh, okay. And its speed keeps up with us and everything.
Let me
I
check.
don't know how this works.
The glass golem will be moving slower, but it does not get tired. So you'll have to slow things down a little bit, or allow the glass golem to ride on the cart.
I mean, yeah, if it doesn't strain anything, I don't think.
It only weighs 2,500 pounds.
Oh, okay, yeah. Cassius, how's your legs? You can run outside. The golem needs a no.
Did she make it out of the golemium? So is it essentially the same weight net, or did she make it out of something else?
It's a glass golem. She would have had to have made it out of glass.
Okay, so it is just added weight.
Yep.
But if possible, I would like to strike up a conversation with Cassius on the journey.
Go right ahead and do so.
Therefore, foregoing my perception if that ever matters at all. But yeah.
Okay.
Cassius. As time has progressed, I've gained further knowledge of spells, and I've picked up one that I think will be useful for us in combat, specifically with your... I can't remember what you call it. Arvo's motions towards his gun. I assume it's holstered on his side or something like that, like I can see it or something.
Mm-hmm.
It has to do with the things that go inside of it, you fire out of it. I can imbue them with magic. So I think Heracles gave you a better one than I could ever muster, but I have lesser versions of that one bullet he gave you. I can give you several of them. If it need.
Yeah, he did. It's right in there. I point to where the we have like a chest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what good is it going to do in there? Don't you need it on you if you need to fire it?
I can grab it out of there if we're hopping off to do some combat.
Well, don't forget it.
I don't like the idea of keeping anything Heracles gave us on my person. Same with Blacksmith, I think. That's why that shirt's in there as well.
I wouldn't compare
if you,
the
I
weapon of
guess if you
Heracles
need
to
it.
Blacksmith Inc. No, I don't need it. It's for you.
I don't want to keep it on me. I don't.
Well, but it's meant to be used. It could aid us in
By
the
all
coming
means,
battle.
feel free to use it.
I can't use it, Cassius. That's the point. He made it for you. Anyways, I guess you can with
The shirt I meant.
Oh no, the
Oh,
shirt.
like life shield shirt. Yeah.
Blacksmith Inc. is a miscommunication. Yes, Blacksmith Inc. is crude, and I wouldn't use their products if it was free. But yes, Heracles' bullet. You should keep that on you. It's better than what I can muster, but I'm just letting you know I have a spell that can come in handy. That mimics his work, but not as good.
Suppose I appreciate it.
Yes, I just don't want you firing a gun in the back of my head if I try to cast a spell on you. You seem rather distrusting lately.
It's mostly just you, but no, Heracles too. But that's pretty persistent, actually. I mean, it's just because you're evil and all.
What a... Out of character, is this like do I know I'm evil? Like I don't know. Like I don't think of myself as an evil person, do I? Like I don't...
You can think of yourself whatever you want, and he can think of
Okay.
you whatever he thinks of you.
Okay, so when he says that, it's not like crazy for me to be like, what? No, I'm not. Like I wouldn't. Yeah, okay. Like I don't think Arvos would think of himself as like evil. He's
You have
like,
not had a celestial deal bonus damage to you yet, so the only thing you've had is Ra tell you at some point that she knew what you were.
Oh yeah, that's right. I guess.
Oh, you're not? Here, you want to hold on to my gun real quick?
Does Arvos have knowledge of interactions of alignment or anything like that?
Don't you know that you're wearing robes that you have to be evil to wear?
I don't. Do I know that? that I had to be evil to wear those?
I mean, I'm pretty sure you.
No, because you
No,
didn't
he actually
succeed.
learns that.
You did not
Oh,
succeed
okay.
the spellcraft to identify that. But you would know that. You would definitively know that would make it obvious to Maldronicus, who did succeed the roll.
Which would explain why Mal is super passive aggressive with you lately.
But yeah, I'm not asking specifically for this weapon. Like, does Arvos know the interaction between alignment items or anything like that?
No, I mean he's not succeeded
Okay,
a spellcraft check, and he doesn't even know that what the gun was enchanted with in the first place.
All right, then he just grabs the gun.
The gun feels like fire in your hand as you put your hand on it, and you can feel something about the gun pulling energy away from you.
So this is extreme pain. Then what?
This is extreme pain.
I will immediately drop it and try to I don't want to scream. I don't know if I have to make a will save or I don't want to show. I don't want to show.
Give me
that.
a fort save, because what you were trying to do is maintain composure while something painful is happening.
I clicked it, but okay, there we go.
So you notice that he holds himself together as you can see what's happening to his hand, Cassius, is it starts to kind of wither just slightly. And you can notice that he seems off as he pulls away, but he doesn't flinch. He just moves his hand back kind of casually.
I'll grab it back up.
What sorcery have you put on this weapon?
You're a spellcaster, right?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know why I asked you that. It was pretty obvious. You ever heard of holy?
You have. That is exactly what that is. You are not supposed to touch those things. You're not of the gods. Why would you touch something holy?
Whoa.
Not yet, anyway.
Interesting choice of craftsmanship.
I mean,
think
we're facing some blatantly evil things, so I figured, getting some extra damage on them wouldn't hurt.
Does it work like that? If you have to whack him with it? I don't understand.
Not exactly. I you know what? I'm not surprised it's not a common thing around these parts. So, no, it's it kind of enchants the bullets to some degree, something like that. It's hard to explain. I don't really fully understand it myself. Sphinx was working on it when we were in that town.
Is your ammunition laid with the same magic?
No, that's quite expensive.
Okay,
So,
good, because in order to bestow my magic, I have to touch it, so this is working out better than I thought, I guess.
No, I have,
Lava bullets.
unless your cold iron hurts you, or silver. You're not a werewolf, are you?
Cassius, yeah. Humor grows on me each day.
And the 6 of you will arrive back at the military camp. The camp has been largely put back together since last you were here. Especially the main tent. There are a number of clerics that actually stop what they're doing and come over to the 6 of you, including Tonelli. What news do you have?
We have traveled long. Perhaps you should go inside a tent.
Here is fine. We are safe to converse here. No one will hear us.
We have learned much of this presence that dominates the north as it grows. We have learned how to stop it. We have learned many of its strengths. We have adjusted as best as we can. We are going to strike at its heart.
And you're sure you're ready?
I am to understand, its power only grows as we wait. The longer we wait, it probably grows stronger than we do.
Well, I have some additional reconnaissance that we've got from from what we've learned from the work of your old clan, you and Ra's old clan.
Oh yes, the Crimson.
Within the mountains, we've noticed a large amount of hill giant activity moving products from that area into other parts of the mountain ranges, many of the homes of many of the dwarves. Based on some of what you brought up to us, we believe that this may be part of where the leader of Kazarim, the former mayor of Kazarim, was getting her sapphires from indirectly. We have since made sure, with much dismay to ourselves, that we are no longer in possession of these things, and have moved them to much more useless locations to be consumed in the process of producing powerful magical equipment.
See.
But even still, this makes me quite nervous. It is very, very likely that action will be taken against Kazarim first. So it is with good timing that you are making this decision. We have reason to believe that that's what's stalled out their new leadership. The people that are disappearing seem to drop out and then disappear after some time. They all have good reasons, but no one can track them down any further. In the last few days, some of our scouts have done some hunting for them, going to the places where they're supposed to be, and they're not there. We believe it's imperative, then, if you're going to strike now, that you do strike now. Otherwise, I think Kazarim may be in great danger.
And not let these people die. We must go. Like I said, we have repaired a lot. I have taken much cost on me, both on my mental sanity and literally, like, the cost of my soul to assemble this party at this point. I have to believe this will work. If it doesn't, I have contingencies in place.
I truly hope for your sake and for ours that it does. Otherwise, I don't know what we have left except to send the Stormlord himself. And I worry that that would put the country in too great a danger. There are enemies from the outside that are beginning to notice that the Civil War is weakening things here.
Yes, he must stay away from. Listen to me, Tenelli. This thing, even the Stormlord, its mind is not safe. And I fear the Stormlord's mind may even be more susceptible, given he's not the brightest of individuals. He must not go near this.
You make certain assumptions.
If it takes him over, this whole plane is fucked. Unless one of us is going to try to kill the Stormlord.
Oh.
He has to stay away from its influence.
Very well.
This thing can I promise you, Tenelli, I was there. I felt it in my mind. This thing, it rips at you. It can control you. It can control even some of the most resilient of my party. We have to be very wary of who goes near it.
If your belief is that the Stormlord would be defeated by it, then I should probably offer you one last blessing on your souls before you go. As I would hope you can end up at whatever afterlife it is that you desire once you leave here.
Maybe just a quiet place. could finally finish some of my damn furniture projects there. Why doesn't anyone want furniture anymore? Everyone just wants weapons. He kind of just mumbles off to himself.
Are you planning to go as a team with everyone involved? And he looks specifically at Aravos.
So I don't know. What is your voice, Aravos? I need...
Well, didn't want to interrupt our brave leader over here. But, yes, it was a Tonelli?
Yes.
I don't know if you're aware, Proactus is probably very dutiful in his communications, but I'm no longer in his employ.
Indeed. So I'm going to need to know something very important from you. Is Maldronicus your leader?
I heed his commands, yes.
We can play this game, but bear in mind that I've been dealing with people like you for a long time. So I'm going to need you to answer the question as I asked it. That is specifically why the 6 of us are here. Is Maldronicus your leader, or do you consider yourself independent?
I need to know your terms. If he were to order me to my death, I would not obey. But if he is giving me reasonable orders, these people, I care for their lives. I wouldn't watch people die. Is this what you're asking? I won't disobey him if it meant the death of the party. I just want your words to be clear. I come from a line of...
My words are clear. Is he your leader? And if you want more from this, give me a sense motive.
Let's see. The lag. It's been clicked.
Yeah, they've apparently changed the dice rolling engine.
I heard
No,
Quaver talk
it
about
does this all the time, even before this.
Yes, but they've recently done changes to the dice engine as well,
That took
which
a
is
long
adding
time.
additional
Oh,
lag
shit.
time to it. They claim they've better randomized the dice.
Yeah, that's what I heard Quabu say. He said they moved the dice server to a different server
Yep.
because people were complaining it was rigged or something. I don't know, something.
What? This is so results oriented. It's like...
I think what happened is somebody managed to figure out how the mathematical computation worked, and somebody challenged that it's not as effectively random as what they've been claiming. That would be my guess, because this is what pedantic mathematicians do.
So maybe it's Aravos's poor charisma, but basically he doesn't want to lie. So he doesn't want to say oh yes, I will follow him to the death, but he's saying I will follow his orders as long as they're not he commands me to go kill myself or something.
So
like that.
you needed a base 10 to know what he's saying.
Okay.
And that is, if you're not a conscript or a proxy conscript, you're done.
Do I know what that means? Being a proxy conscript?
So both Ra and Mal are technically proxy conscripts. They are conscripts so long as the arrangement continues with the Crimson Council. And the Crimson Council has the right to withdraw them. You are allowed in the group on the contingency that you were an emissary of Kazarum as sent by Heracles. You now have no ties that bind you to the military. And you are therefore not a part of the military. And so therefore cannot travel with the military. Unless you choose to be conscripted.
I was hoping, Tonelli, that I would have a similar arrangement made with Heracles. You are in need of this powerful spellcaster. I'm sure the military has consultants on board.
None of our consultants are allowed within unless we have strong arrangements with their larger group order. You would be an entirely free agent, allowed to make your own decisions with no one to answer to. Do you realize the threat that would be to a military organization if there were just a free agent allowed to make his own decisions and choices at his own whims and wills, while being in the midst of the people that he is swearing to protect, and one who themselves visibly is showing what they are on the inside. And he gestures to your robes.
Whoa. These.
I've
visible?
never seen those before. Your robes are. How would your robes not be visible?
No, I was going to say, are they visibly black? I thought they had changed orientation.
They are still black. They just
Oh.
have a different patterning on them.
Okay.
They have a more Aravos patterning as opposed to a more Necromancer patterning. So there's like not little skulls all along the thing.
Why not?
I did say
Tonelli,
they fit you quite well, and I wink at you.
It all makes sense. Tonelli, my family, I don't know if you know my family, they specialize in...
You have no family.
Yes. Well,
Again, free agent problem.
Yes, I'm proposing a solution if you wouldn't cut me off, good sir.
Sure.
I have contacts that specialize in contracts of sorts. If we create a magical contract where I'm beholden to this deal you want, then you have your recourse should I go astray.
I already have such a thing. And he reaches into his pocket, and that is why I asked you. And he, unrolls a scroll. Is Maldronicus your leader?
Is the scroll blank, or is there words?
It has words on it.
Can I read it?
Certainly. It is a contract of conscription.
Okay, so the problem here is I don't think Arvos would want to be conscripted.
Okay.
Or military.
Well, then I do apologize. The military will not allow you to operate. You chose to go free agent, and I made it clear during character creation, or during your character's first interactions, that this whole thing was contingent upon your amulet, upon you being part of Heraclus's situation.
Mm-hmm.
So you either need to be willing to swear your allegiance to your leader, or I don't know what to do here with your character. Because the military will not allow Maldronicus to continue to let you travel with him.
Yeah, for sure. I just don't want to metagame. If I metagame, yeah, sign me up. But Arvos would not. I don't know what this means. Does Arvos know what being conscripted means? Is my life guaranteed to the military? If that's true,
you are giving your life to the military.
Arvos will not sign his life away to the military.
Yeah.
He will offer to do a contract where he is beholden to the military for this task or whatever, but he's not gonna say his life is the military's property for sure. No way.
Okay.
Want to take a quick break?
Yeah, take a break.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to think this over. So we will hopefully be
good.
back shortly.